Please listen carefully.
Well, we're recording on QuickTime. This is going in the YouTube video because I include
It can't.
I do because I include everything in the YouTube video, so it's like behind the scenes, so people get a little extra when they go on YouTube.
See,
All right, so now we're recording in.
where's that
GarageBand.
fucking ticker that always comes on?
I turned it off, so we're recording in GarageBand. So whenever you want to do your opening, because the people on YouTube are going, "Come on, start it already."
For fuck's sakes. I'm getting, oh, I know I'm getting echo. Now it sounds better.
Okay.
Just remind me to key up that bad bitch on me. All right. I guess we'll wing it.
Are we starting?
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Then yeah.
I didn't know this was like the actual start of it.
God, this is why we don't do live shows.
Oh my God. Well, and we don't do live shows because we don't know what's gonna come out of my mouth, not
Mainly.
your mouth.
I need a dump
Why
button.
is my glass so far away? I haven't even taken a glass.
I don't know, but we need a dump button where it deletes the last 15 minutes.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, because I don't trust you or myself. Hey, how do we sound?
Oh, we sound really good.
Why do we sound so good?
Because I got an early Christmas present because I was in a pissy mood earlier and someone wanted to cheer me up. And I got my new microphones.
What kind of microphones did you get?
The Rode Pro mic. I think that's what they're called, right?
Pod mic.
Well, the pod mic. It's the Rode mic.
These
it's the
fucking
mic
things,
that everyone wants.
They're a cinder block.
They are. It's making my thing,
Whoa.
the stand go down. And actually, our levels on GarageBand are not very good. So,
Well, we're high over here, so
I don't know. It's saying that I'm very quiet
for a change.
on GarageBand.
That
so
never happens, though.
No, not really.
You're
But
never quiet.
whatever. We're just going to roll with it because that's just what we do on the Knock and Talk show.
Yeah, turn your shit up if you can't hear us. That's
Yeah, I guess. Also, so two things. Like, people are probably like, what the fuck? This episode already is fucked. But I was super excited to record this episode because I've been like stewing over
Chomping
what
at the
we're
bit,
what we're gonna talk about. And also, then once you brought out these microphones, I was like, well, now we definitely are gonna record. And now I just want to talk and talk and talk and talk and talk and talk forever. And actually, I forgot to preheat the oven, so dinner's gonna be real late tonight. So sorry about that. Good thing we have rapid preheat, so hopefully it'll preheat pretty quick. I don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not, but I still have to cut up the last shit. So anyways, I'm super excited. So I already briefed you on what we're talking about today for our roll call.
Yeah, just so
That's
I could
all right.
pull some, because I hate when you leave me in the dark. Then I'm on the spot, and I don't know.
So by the time this episode's released, this is going to be a little bit dated. It's not going to be the new hot issue going on. But
well, we can always move episodes around, though, too.
It's kind of waning already now to this date, but it's kind of still making me all fired up for other reasons. So that's why we're going to talk about this issue. And then I have other things that are going to come along with it.
Well, real quick, before we get too far in depth, since everything's already going to be dated, today is a very important day.
Oh, yeah.
Today is Veterans Day. Today, when we're recording, it is Veterans Day.
It is.
So a huge shout out and thank you to everyone that has served.
Yes.
And helped defend our country.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And God bless you.
And thank you to my two favorite veterans who are no longer here.
They're not.
Dan and Peg. Biss.
Coast Guard and
the U.S. Well, it was the Air Force, but it was the
Air
Corps back in the day. So, yeah, the Air Force.
So, yeah, thanks to all of you.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. We love you all. Okay, so we are going to talk about Officer Andrea Zendejas. She is apparently a fan favorite of a live PD. Now, let me preface this. Apparently, I am a fat phobic bitch. So, because of I believe it was episode 14 when we were talking about
fat like people at Walmart. Yeah.
So, I would like to correct myself a little bit from that episode. I am not talking about people who are a little overweight. I myself can be considered a little overweight. We all can be considered at a normal weight. a little overweight. That's not what we're talking about or what we talked about in that episode. I'm talking about people who walk up a flight of stairs and who are completely out of breath and incapable of normal physical activity because they are so overweight and they are just not taking care of their bodies. That's what that episode was about. And their health is declining because of it.
Or the people who have health issues and get certain perks of a system that is in place strictly because of life choices that you make. That's what bothers me.
Right. So I'm going to sound like a bitch again, but Officer Andrea Zendejas, she is a thick girl. She's thick.
What were we told the other night? Thick with two C's?
3 C's.
Oh, 3
per
C's.
The Poorly Made Police podcast, which is now turning into a new favorite of mine. But you need to listen to us first before you go and listen to him. So
suck it.
But yeah, she is thick, and I'm not trying to be mean, but she's thick. And when I look at her, if I'm a bad guy, I'm going to size her up, and I'm going to think I'm going to outrun you.
Game on, yeah.
Yeah, game on, I'm going to outrun you. So apparently she's known for her very large bun that she wears on the show, which I think is quite obscene. I think it's a little ridiculous.
Here's the thing. The first 10 seconds of this interview that I watched, when they mentioned something about bun, they were also showing a clip.
You need to turn down. You were blowing the speakers out.
They were also showing a clip of her dump truck. So that's immediately where my mind, and then she was like, oh no, her bun on her head.
The bun and her butt.
Dump truck.
So yeah, this is sounding like a really petty episode so far. But anyways, aside from her weight, there's some other issues that go along with this. So Officer Andrea Zendejas is a now retired police officer, and she has chosen a different career path. And she now has an OnlyFans, and she is on OnlyFans selling herself and photos of herself.
I heard the Bennies were good, though, and OnlyFans.
Yeah, definitely. So she has chosen to no longer be a police officer and to serve and protect and do all the duties that we do and chase the shoplifters. But she has chosen to now be on OnlyFans. So I will say this about OnlyFans. I go back and forth about OnlyFans for a couple different reasons. You're never going to, well, like we talked about in the porn episode that we talked, I think 15 or whatever it was, you're not going to prevent the sex industry from being here. Like, we can't just ban it. No, like, but prostitution's talked about in the Bible.
Are there other things to OnlyFans other than
it's not just
sexual related material?
Yeah, I mean, people like pay for like to like watch people clean their house. Like, there's like weird shit on OnlyFans. Like,
wait, what?
Yeah, like you can. Sorry, I'm trying to adjust this mic because I am quiet as fucking GarageBand. This 2-pound mic keeps sliding down on me. But
tighten your gooseneck up there.
I did. So on OnlyFans, you can, from what I understand, I don't go on OnlyFans or watch OnlyFans, but from what I understand, you can pay. You're paying the subscription to follow people to pretty much do like any weird fetish or thing like that you have. So like you can watch like
a kink room.
Yeah, like you can watch someone in lingerie like cleaning their house, and like people pay for subscriptions of that. Like, it's odd. It's very odd.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
So Miss Andrea, because she's no longer an officer, so let's just call it like it is. She's not an officer now. She doesn't apparently do nudity. It's just like lingerie, whatever. But before we get into it, and I keep sounding like this petty bitch talking about she's thick with 3 C's, let's play this 6-minute clip of her doing an interview. What was the, I don't know what News Nation?
It looks like it's from News Nation. We just found it on YouTube.
Yeah, it's on YouTube, but it's an interview she did. This is what I saw on either Instagram or Facebook. I saw it and I was like, what in the fuck?
Oh, they had this. You saw this interview?
I saw this interview. Okay. Yeah. So let's play it. I would like to get your reaction to it.
It'll be interesting.
Here we go.
I want you to take a look at this headline from the New York Post. It reads, "Thin Nude Line. Former Texas cop and live PD star trades badge for OnlyFans." Now that is quite a career change.
Thin
That former
nude
officer's
line.
name is Andrea Zendejas,
Come
and she
on.
was a fan favorite on A&E's Live PD, as you can see from here. Once known as the Bun of Justice because of that rather large bun of hair that she wore as she patrolled the streets of El Paso, Andrea Zendejas has decided to lose the
Like an
uniform.
appendage.
Yeah.
She's also decided to lose a few other articles of clothing too. And
Jesus.
Andrea joins us now. Officer Zendejas, I'm telling you, I nearly lost my lunch. I thought, that's
too.
Andrea with the thing and the thing on the thing? What made you decide to do such an incredible switch of
Not
careers?
incredible.
Well, it was never really part of the plan.
So just real quick, can you see this banner?
Well-
Officer turns in badge.
Becomes big
Booty
having gun
slinging
slinging model. What the fuck?
Enough said.
I was leaving the police department anyway. I had set it up to where I would be leaving this summer. One day during patrol, it was a joke, like a running joke, because my social media following, my partner was like, hey, you should open an OnlyFans. you have a lot of fans. And I was like, no, we just joked about it. And when I dropped my paperwork to actually leave the department, I'm like,
Thick.
what's the worst that could happen?
Well, that's a good
So
question.
I opened it.
What's the worst that can happen? I often wonder that. I mean, you do have like 70,000 Twitter fans and 28,000 Instagram fans, so it is kind of logical you would do well. But did you get
Fame
any
got the best of
blowback
her.
from fellow officers or anybody else who pruriently might have said, hey, what are you doing?
I did actually. So I started about a month from leaving the department. So and I was kind of flying under the radar with it. I wasn't really promoting it or anything like that because I'm not fully nude, and I don't do any kind of pornographic material. So it's a little different for me. It's a lot of
That's not
plus size
pornographic.
lingerie stuff. Never anything to do with the department that I was affiliated with. So when I opened it, of course, it's like high school, right? Word gets around, people start talking. So yes, I did get a little bit of backlash for that, but that's okay. It's over, and I'm on
So
my way.
question
Sorry, it
Question
choked.
for you. For those who might not understand, you can look at anybody's Instagram for free, as long as they accept you if it's private. But then the OnlyFans, you pay a sub fee. That's called a subscription fee. And yours, I think, is somewhere around $15, which, girl, that's high. A lot of them are around $9 or $4.99. I'm told. So are you are you raking it in? Like, how many subs do you have?
Right now, as of today, I'm pushing somewhere around 2,100.
So that's pretty solid.
it's a pretty-
And I mean, this could be
That's not
a full career
pornographic.
for you, right?
It's definitely a full-time job, for sure, 100%.
Really?
It's a lot of interaction with
Really?
the subscribers, and it's very time-consuming, which it's okay. It's a little bit of it's a bit of a career change for me because I wasn't really planning on working for the next year or so. I was trying to just chill out and kind of relax and enjoy life for a little bit. And, now I fell into another full-time job. So, but it's okay.
So have
it's,
you
it's
heard
good.
from
I'm home.
have you heard from my former colleague when I was working with Big Fish and doing live rescue and filled in a few times on Live PD? My former colleague Dan Abrams, the host of Live PD, is now my new colleague here at News Nation. Have you talked to him
very
at all, or
nice.
have you? Does he know that you got the new OnlyFans page?
I'm sure everyone knows by this point, but no, I don't talk to them regularly.
News gets around. It does get around. Hey, real quick question for you, because I know for a lot of people, they question whether they want to do that, whether they have a difference, in the moral choices or pressure from community. But you also have kids, right? I don't know how old they are, but how old are they, and what do they think about it?
So I do. I have a 15-year-old and an 8-year-old. They know that I do pictures because I do a lot of professional pictures as well, and I make it very known, especially to my daughter, that not doing anything ratchet, as they say.
Ratchet.
It's just a lot
That's
of
exactly what you're
plus
doing.
size
Yes.
modeling, and people really, really like it. So, but I make sure my kids know.
From
Mom,
bun of
if
justice
anybody
to
asks, Mom
buns
just
of
retired.
justice.
Oh man. Okay. Well, listen. This tweet you announced on July 27th. This was your last day, so it was really heartfelt. You said, "Last days on patrol, super emotional time for me. I will miss my brothers and sisters in blue. It's a family like no other, and I'll always have their backs no matter what. It's a different kind of love and relationship when you're willing to die for one another." So, Andrea, when we come back, I want to talk to you a little bit about Live PD being canceled, not due to the ratings,
That's
but
it.
also it was.
So, what do you think?
Man, I don't know. I don't know what makes you chase that path. Like, I don't.
Attention.
Well, and that's kind of what I said in the beginning is like, after Live PD, she gets all these new followers on just regular social media, on Instagram, on, Facebook, probably Snatch Chat.
Snatch chat.
So, yeah, it probably went. You've never heard
I've
that before?
never heard that.
It probably went to her head.
Snatch chat. Probably.
I mean, would be my assumption.
Probably.
Look, and if that's what you want to do, that's all you. Like,
Right.
do your thing. But to go public and now we're doing these interviews and all that stuff, like,
Isn't that weird?
to me, that's kind of weird. But again, her thought process was probably, man, if I go do this interview, you know how many other subscribers I'm going to get? Because I just
Right.
did the math. I forget.
31,000.
Yeah, it was like 31,500 for a $15 subscription
Right.
with however many people. She said she had 20 some hundred.
Yeah, but that's before taxes. So it's not like she's raking in the
I
dough.
highly doubt she's paying her fucking taxes on her OnlyFans money. Let's be honest.
True. Okay, so her body, her weight, everything aside, my biggest issue with that was like I looked at her when she was on Live PD, and I remember watching her obviously before all this OnlyFans, because this was not a thing years ago when we were watching Live PD.
I watched a lot of Live PD. I don't remember,
remember
ever
her?
seeing her.
I remember seeing her, and like I just remember looking at her and going, that's not like, are you running a mile and a half in 12 minutes? Like, are you doing
Obviously, well, it's probably not a requirement
sit-ups?
down there.
But that's what, like, we've talked about this before. Like, there should be a physical fitness standard, because it's not about what you look like for what's the word I'm looking for? Like, for show, like for people to impress people, like it's for the bad guy. Like,
Right.
he's sizing you up. Like, he is going to see, like, can I take this person? And not to mention, like, if you get into a fight with the bad guy or girl, whatever, we shouldn't discriminate here, or they, whatever.
Bad
I
them.
had to, bad them. You are in a fight for your life, potentially. You need to be able to have some sort of physical fitness to, keep up. So, but I digress. This has nothing to do with her body. You can be whatever size
Right.
you want to be and be beautiful, and you can take photos of yourself. And I'm not anti taking photos of yourself and taking sexy photos of yourself and doing. If
I do
that's
it all
what
the time.
Yeah, right. And post them. Yeah. But if that's what you want to do, and that's the lifestyle that you want to live. But my thing is that you've made yourself a public figure as a police officer, and that is what you are in the eyes of the public. Is you are a police officer, and you are representing a community
Right.
of other police officers.
Right.
You've been on a national, I guess it'd be considered a national TV show, Live PD, very popular amongst our community and people who support law enforcement because they like seeing what goes on the road.
Right.
And now you have taken a complete 180 turn, and you have gone to something that is very against the morals of law enforcement. And hear me out why. You know how I am when it comes to like the sex trafficking stuff? OnlyFans, I think I've mentioned this before. OnlyFans, I mean, from what I've heard from the classes I've taken, OnlyFans, there are sex trafficking victims that are on OnlyFans. I mean, there's sex trafficking victims pretty much on any
So
social
pretty much
media
all they
platform.
did was trade out like the old back page and
Exactly. And so we can get into that. But here's my thing is like you are going from a law enforcement position where whether or not she was fighting sex trafficking or even interested in trying to end sex trafficking or if that was even an interest of hers, because let's face it, we all have different interests in our field, and that's perfectly fine. Like you're allowed to like doing traffic. You're allowed to like doing crashes. You're allowed to be interested in sex crimes or
Right.
homicide or, B&Es or whatever your thing is. And that's what you want to do. White collar, whatever it is. Like we always say, you do you, boo boo. Like you can have your
How
your
old
niche
is
in
she?
I want to say like mid-30s, something like that. Look, she has a pretty face. Like she's not an unattractive woman. But my thing is like you are going completely against the morals of what you took that oath and that position as a law enforcement officer for. 36. So I was right.
So I just wonder, like, what was it, a money thing? Did she see other people
I
getting?
think it's a fame thing,
Yeah.
And but my biggest issue with it is that you went in from a position that we as a community need to be fighting to end sex trafficking. Like this needs to be a bigger issue, and it needs to be an issue where the truth of the matter is being shared and not all this bullshit that people not us, law enforcement,
Right.
but people in general on the social media warriors out there. But you are going from a position of law enforcement to now you are basically supporting a online platform by being a member of it, and having your own page and doing that is essentially promoting aspects of sex trafficking of juveniles and even adults.
Right.
I mean, like, everyone wants to talk about the sex trafficking of children, but like there are adults who are being sex trafficked too. Like we can't forget about them. Like they're still victims, like they're still victims out
Right.
there. But it really bothers me that how do you go to that extreme? Like, and if you are going to go to that extreme, then do it quietly. Like why it didn't need to turn into this big public thing.
No, but I personally feel like it was a combination of fame and money.
100%.
So why else go public? So she's already got the
100%.
fame.
Right.
She's getting out of a job. You know what I mean? She's capitalizing on
100%. I'm not
on her fame.
I'm not questioning her reasoning for why she came out and did all these interviews.
Right.
I understand why she did it. I mean, she's not stupid.
Well, yeah, because curiosity's going to kill the cat. People are going to go, I mean,
Right.
it's $15. What do they charge a month?
I
Like
think
for a
so,
subscription or whatever?
But my thing is like when you're going from a position that we're in to a position like that, educate yourself first before you go into a platform like that.
Why?
And know that you could be being posted next to a juvenile sex trafficking
Yeah,
victim.
but
How does that make you feel though? Doesn't that make like that? You should feel like a piece of shit, not
yeah,
you.
But she's getting paid. Look, I'm not justifying it, right?
I know you're saying her thought
But
process.
let's be. I'm getting paid.
I want to fucking
I'm
take
no
down
longer
all
in that
these sites.
Field.
None of these sites need to exist.
I'm making $30,000
to take pictures.
so somebody can look at my butt cheeks. If you want to pay me $30,000,
You're not doing it.
I'm not. No, I'm not trying to be weird. I'm kind of trying to make an honest point for that.
Right. I mean, she claims
30
it's a full-time job.
It's $30,000, and what are you doing
Really?
to earn
Really?
it?
Yeah.
And again, I'm not justifying it, but really, you want me to put on some swim trunks and you're gonna pay me $30,000?
I understand what you're saying, but none of these sites need to exist because here's my thing: is like, can we all have a little bit of modesty? Like, I understand that we're never going to be able to take all this away. Like, you're never going to end prostitution. You're never going to end all of this because, like I said before, prostitution is even mentioned in the Bible. Like, it's been around. They claim it was like the first profession out there in the Bible because. I mean, they talk about it.
Well, yeah, I
So
think
it's not,
capitalizing on something like that is like human nature.
You're not,
you know?
you're not going to completely get rid of everything. But if we can stop creating more and more platforms where we're promoting, I mean, here's the thing: is like you get rid of Backpage, like the FBI, they shut down Backpage. You're gonna have 20 more that open up that aren't called Backpage, like
Right. So I mean, I guess what's the difference between Backpage and OnlyFans?
so. Backpage is
Like I know what they both are, but why is one okay and the other one is not? Is it the money thing?
It's so because OnlyFans doesn't present itself for like that solicitation. Like OnlyFans is
But is it happening on that site?
oh for sure.
So then what's the difference?
It's why Backpage existed for so long because they claimed that they weren't soliciting prostitution. And that, you know, none of that was going on. And here's the crazy thing about Backpage. So let's talk about Backpage for a minute.
Well, explain it real quick. Just
I'm sure most people know what Backpage was. So like you could go to backpage.com, you go to the classifieds, and then you could type in like hot blonde chick. You go to the section men seeking women.
yeah, I don't
or,
think
like,
you had to go
whatever.
to, like I think the classified
I'm thinking
section
of
was
some
more
of
like
the other sites. I'm
Craigslist.
sorry, but yeah, Craigslist. But you, I've had to go on too many sites to like look through for some of the
Right.
stuff for the sex trafficking stuff. But for Backpage, it'd be like men seeking women or women seeking women or whatever. But like you go on Backpage and then you would go on and then there'd be all these hyperlinks and you would just scroll down. There'd just be hundreds and pages of hyperlinks.
With like tricky headlines.
So it'd be tricky headlines and it would all be like, you know, some like lowercase, uppercase, and it would be like, they have like different codes. I don't even want to give like specifics on some of this stuff just because I know that like law enforcement uses like certain
Right.
like code sheets
Yeah.
to use it, but they would have different code words and which would say one thing but really would mean other things. So for example, and I'm just using a random example, it would say rose. We'll say it would say rose somewhere in that hyperlink, and if it said rose to the buyer, to the John, that meant that it was a juvenile. So they knew that
I was
was
gonna
a
say
juvenile.
so being on both sides, you had to have an understanding
you
of
had
what
to
was
learn the lingo.
the lingo.
Of it. Now, emojis came into play, and it was a whole different ballgame.
Like eggplants and water drops and
Yes, but they all had different meaning, and so you know, like the eggplant, like we all know what the eggplant is for, but like the water. We're not doing this, but like there were certain things with like the eggplant, like the water drops, and there were certain ones that would depict whether or not that they required you wear a condom or not, or whether or not that they were perform fellatio or not, or you know whatever that it would basically spell out in these like lines so that it would drive someone to click on that link.
yeah. But also, was it also used to like prove what I'm doing? Like those are just silly emojis.
But they're
like,
they're vague. So you would just see like a bunch of like flowers and eggplants and water droplets and rainbows, and you wouldn't know what it was. So yeah, but the emojis, when they came into play, I mean, law enforcement, the people that work on these on a regular basis, they're fucking good, and they've obviously caught on quickly to what the emojis stand for. But when those first came into play, that's a whole different, you know, language that you now have to pick up on and learn. So you would see all these hyperlinks, you would click onto that ad, and you would go in. Now, you don't know the photo of what this girl looks like or whatever, but you click on the link, and you would go in and you would see a bunch of photos. And you would get more description about like in call, out call. So in call is you're going to go to them. Out call is they'll come to you. So like, are you going to go to their hotel room wherever they're staying at, or are they going to come to you wherever you're staying at? So it would say like in call, out call, where that's good. Sometimes they're both. It would give like the phone number. It would give photos. It would give more description of what stuff would be performed, things like that. But everything was vague. It's not like, I am here to provide you sex. That's not what it would say. And most of the time when it came to juveniles, the photos weren't always it wasn't always the girl that the person was buying.
Right.
And
Was it the same with adults?
I feel like sometimes, yeah.
It was more accurate with adults, do you think?
Or
is it like first come, first serve? Like,
so what I found when I was looking up stuff is that there were sometimes you found a lot of ads, and the people, this was not on Backpage because this Backpage was already shut down. You have your regular people on these pages, and they dime people out. You would get the assholes on these sites, and they would make posts, but these are the ones that are just going to rob you.
Mm-hmm.
So like you'd show up to these people's house, and they're just
Right.
there to rob you. So, but they're using fake photos and pretending to be someone else. So you would have a mixture of that. But yeah, so they're using
which we
fake
experienced
photos.
through Snapchat.
Yes.
Was another
Yeah.
big
yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So they get rid of Backpage, and so that's what it was. You would click on the link, you think you're buying one thing, but the code would be whether or not you're buying a juvenile or you're buying an adult, and you'd be able, or a transgender or whatever it was. There's always code for everything
Right.
in these ads. I mean, it's spelling out what you're basically getting. It may not be the photo of the girl you're getting, but you're going to get something. And to be quite honest, if you're desperate enough that you're going on these sites, I don't think at the end of the day, once you get there or they get to you and it's not exactly the girl in the photo, I don't think that person's really going to care at that point. So Backpage gets shut down, but 20 other sites get, pulled up. And I feel like I won't even name the names of some of these, but you could find, I mean, they're not hard to find.
Mm-hmm.
And so even just on the regular web, they're easy to find on the regular web. I haven't even been able to access the ones on the dark web because I don't even know how to get to the dark web. And I've been begging someone to teach me, how do you get to it? You have to do Tor websites and go through Tor browsers and things. I am not that smart. I can't even get a fucking podcast to work half the time. I can't figure that stuff out. But the dark web, if people who are really good with the internet know that the regular internet, what we're seeing is only a tiny bit of what's out there. The dark web has so much more. It's like an iceberg.
Yeah.
It has everything underneath. So the dark web, who knows what's out there. But these new sites that what I've noticed, a lot of them, they're not the traditional hyperlink. A lot of them are just, some of them are just photos. So that photos, in some very graphic photos.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're just laid all out their photos, but that photo's to entice you to click on that photo, and then they'll spell out whatever acts will be performed, things like that. So you get these ads, and the problem with these ads is, you'll get the people that argue that, well, and this is the terminology that I use, freelance prostitution. They're entrepreneurs out there just prostituting and making their own money, doing it for drugs, doing it for a living, doing it to put food on the table, whatever it is. And the research that I've done, not physical field research, but doing the meta-analysis of taking different research done by actual researchers, and you read those research articles, and then you take all those different research articles and studies and compare them against each other. Of all those studies I read, and I read a fuck ton of them when I had to write a couple different papers on them, to me, and the way that I interpret it, there's not a lot of freelance prostitutes out there. And I prefer the term sex workers. I think it sounds a little less, doesn't sound as mean. I don't know. It's tomato. I don't know. That's how I always use it. But
it is what it is,
yeah,
no matter what.
But I don't think there's a lot of freelance girls out there. Now, men can be too, and there are
probably
young
not
boys.
to the point where they're advertising.
I don't see.
I'm sure they exist, on a small scale. You know what I mean? Maybe the girl that needs a fix on a drug or something like that, she may sell that.
Yeah. So here's one point I'll make before we get into more sex trafficking. You know, what was the most interesting thing that I found in those studies was that Black transgender female, specifically Black transgender females, so male to female transition, were the largest group at least that researchers were able to identify of freelance sex workers, prostitutes, whatever you want to call them. And the reason was when they would ask them, and they would ask them in these almost like not shelters, but they would like provide them with like food, and they would give them like a little bit of medical care. They would kind of give them something in return to helping them out with that research study, and offer them help to get out of that lifestyle or whatever. But their reasoning for doing it was that because the transition was so hard for them to go from being a man to a woman, and that they had such a hard time getting people to get on board with that, that going out and working the corner and being a sex worker, it empowered them to feel like a woman. As, you know, and they would say, like, as, you know, screwed up as that sounds, whatever, but to them, it made them feel more like a woman. So I thought that was like the most fascinating. I mean, I wrote a whole like section in my paper on it, because I'm like, that was like the oddball, you know, part of like the research that just kind of stuck out, that was not the traditional or whatever. So anyways, going back to the kids, these sites between Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, I mean, what other sites are out there? I mean, everything. YouTube, what's Reddit? Is it Tumblr? I mean, you name it, social media wise, and there's pimps, people who are looking for kids and seeking to recruit them into sex trafficking. That is where they're at. And OnlyFans. They're promoting sex trafficking on OnlyFans, but to get them onto those sites to promote them, we have to recruit them, and we have to groom them into this lifestyle. And you know, what makes me very angry, and you already know this, that I'm already preaching to the choir here, is that we get a lot of people that make these false claims of what they think sex trafficking is.
Crazy weird
like,
shit.
what was the thing that came in the other night? I mean, do you remember what the guy called in?
Yeah, a fucking car seat in a parking lot.
And you went and checked on it. So what was it? Like, what like
It was a car seat in a parking lot.
right, an empty parking lot.
Yeah.
Right.
It looked like it had, like it looked like it was old.
Did it look like it was indicative of sex trafficking to you?
It was a car seat in a parking lot.
Right.
Of like a busy plaza.
Right.
I don't know how people equate.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I was kind of baffled, I guess. Like, what
So
are you doing?
you know that, grab me a beer while you're over there. Please. Can you give me a Martian beer, please?
It's going to cost you.
Okay.
Tree fitty. I want my tree fitty.
But, I mean, you know that, like, over the years, we've gotten people report candy canes on door handles on Christmas Eve.
Yeah, don't do a nice gesture.
On Christmas Eve. Don't put candy canes on people's door handles on Christmas Eve. What was the windshield wiper covers from the plastic ones from the car wash? They were putting them on windshield wipers to protect windshield wipers, and that turned into a whole fucking thing.
I guess they were to protect windshield wipers.
I don't
still
know
know
what
why
the
you would put
point
them on there
was, whatever.
Regardless.
So, but there was those beach balls, flyers under windshield wipers, zip ties on door handles. I'm trying to think when I wrote that op-ed, what, like, people come up with the craziest shit and report it as they think it's sex trafficking. And it's not. Okay, like
to start,
it's not. So can we just be clear about that? And secondly, Columbus PD, I wish I would have saved the Instagram post from it. They posted on Instagram. Yeah, they posted, this was maybe like 2 months ago, because I went on a rant on Instagram on our stories, and they posted something about someone claimed sex trafficking was occurring at a mall in the Columbus area. I don't know which mall it was. I don't know what it was, but they were dispelling the claims that people were being sex trafficked out of the mall in this Columbus area. And I read this and I was like, holy fuck, so glad it's happening, other places, and that other places are getting these crazy claims. I think it was Jackson Township PD. They had claimed, where's Belden Village? What is that?
Down around
is
that
that
area,
Jackson?
yeah.
Whatever department has Belden Village Mall. They had the same claims. They got claims that people were being sex trafficked out of their mall, and people were calling in and saying those kinds of things. And though that can happen, that is probably not the way it's going to happen, because the world that we live in is so full of technology and full of social media that the pimps they're smart. The sex traffickers, they are smart. They are on social media, and they know how to target children.
So you mean to tell me that it's not like the movie Taken?
No.
Then why did they make that movie?
I don't know.
I thought for a long frickin' time that was legit.
So I thought law
Does
enforcement
it
was going to
happen
be
that way,
like
though?
Blue Bloods, and it's not.
Does it ever happen that way?
I mean, I never watched that movie, so I don't know.
I know what we're doing tonight.
Watching Taken. I have a hard time watching shit that I'm like, it's just going to make me mad.
Well, it's that's not like the main story. It's just an action movie.
Right.
But it was a good premise, I think, to kind of build upon.
Yeah, but I think things like that are what put
But the thing,
these
so many
crazy
people have
stuff
seen
in
it, so they're
people's-
like, "Oh my god,
That's
when you
what
go on a
sex trafficking-
vacation to France, somebody is going to
Oh,
hate
see,
you."
I don't need to watch the movie now. See, no. You told me. My throat's talking. I hope you can't hear that. But yeah, so people get these crazy ideas, these wild ideas, and those aren't the truth. And though, yes, a child could be kidnapped and taken into sex trafficking, that is not even kidnapping, even the crime of kidnapping. I think the percentage is like 95 or 98% of the time that a child is kidnapped is by someone known to the child. So like by a parent or a other family
Right.
member or a family friend, or, like usually it's like parents who are separated and the dad comes and takes the child, or the mom, or vice versa, someone comes and takes the child. So it's considered kidnapping, but it's not like some stranger just like,
in the van that says
Ye-
free candy.
right,
and
and just taking the kid away. So let's get that out of our heads. Yes, we need to be aware of our surroundings. Yes, we need to be safe and not take candy from strangers out of white creepy vans wearing white New Balance shoes with high white socks and being a creep
jorts.
and jorts.
And
Let's not do that.
The big framed
thick-
glasses with the
yes,
nose piece.
and
that
if
runs-
they have tape on their glasses, don't take
Red
the
flag.
candy. Don't, red flag, hard no, don't do
Yeah.
it, okay? Come on. Common sense, people. Common fucking sense. But same thing for sex trafficking. Why would the traffickers, they're fucking smart. First off, pimps, that you can go on Amazon. If you go on Amazon right now, the pimps write fucking books. There's a book called Pimpology. They teach you how to be a pimp.
Oh shit, for real? It's
I
like
have it.
pimping for dummies.
I have it. It teaches you how to be a pimp, to be a sex trafficker.
Do they have pimping for dummies?
I
That's
don't
what
know. I
wanna
don't think they have that one. There's a Pimpology. There's a couple other ones that they write books.
I feel like it's a Snoop Dogg song.
It might be. How to be. But they write fucking books on how to be a sex trafficker. Like they're not idiots. Like they're smart. Like they know how to work this shit. So they're on social media. Why would they wait around at a mall waiting for some cute little kid to come walking by to snatch them up when they can go on the internet, find some vulnerable kid, and groom them into what they need them to be?
Yeah.
So, can I just mention the fucking vulnerabilities? Because everyone thinks that I'm all fired up now. I've been waiting to talk about this for so long.
all I
I'm
all I know.
pent up anger.
and tell me if I'm wrong,
What?
but I've heard pimping ain't easy.
But ain't easy.
So is that accurate? Like, is it
I love
is
you.
it tough?
It's so tough.
Alright.
It's so tough. I can't take you anymore. The ring light is giving you a really nice glow, by the way.
It's kind of giving me a headache.
Then turn it off.
Nope.
Mine's kind of making me look sleepy. It doesn't make my eyes look like they're open.
These motherfuckers.
Or I'm
will
just
see
sleepy.
my
I don't know.
silhouette.
Anyways, come on, get back to the topic. Stay on task. Come on. So anyways, everyone thinks that, little Susie Q, the cute little kid in the neighborhood, just walking down the street. She's going to get kidnapped by the creepy guy in the white van with the white New Balances, the high socks, and the creepy glasses. Ain't going to happen.
You know what a Chamoan looks like. like
Wait,
everybody
do
knows.
we need to define what a Chamoan is?
Please.
Chamoan is short for child molester, and I should not be laughing, but I always use that term, and I love it. Like, it's the perfect name. I don't love child molesters, but like, it's the perfect name, like, for a fucking creep that should rot in jail if he molests little kids, or she.
So yeah, I don't think life sentences should be a thing, especially in a crime like that. But that's a topic
Yeah,
for
don't
another
fuck with
day.
little kids. Yeah, it's just not okay. Anyways, but they think that we get these parents that will call into us, or, you know, like I see on like other police departments' pages when they're trying to dispel the myths too, that I try to dispel as well. And I hear the other department's frustrations and stuff, because you get these well-to-do parents calling in and going, "Oh, my little Susie, she was almost sex trafficked from the mall or from Walmart or
Right.
from Target or whatever." And it's like,
She was followed.
she was followed by whatever. And it was like, she probably was not being sex trafficked. It might have been a weird person, but it was probably not sex trafficking. You know, it could have been anything else,
Right.
but it probably wasn't sex trafficking. Like, it might have been something odd. Sure. But
That
not
being
sex
said, don't
trafficking.
hesitate to call your local law
Which is
enforcement
fine.
agency. But we
But
don't
we don't have to
make it a
assume that it's sex trafficking.
Right.
And then Miss Mary Jane, Bobby Joe, wherever the fuck you are.
Karen.
You don't, Karen. That's what name I should have used, Karen. You don't have to make a long fucking Facebook post that says you have to type or hit the button read more, because it's so fucking long.
Yeah, about this traumatic
That talks about this
experience that they went
traumatic
through.
experience that the child went through, that they were almost fucking sex trafficked, and then it gets shared 5 bazillion million
Yeah.
times. And then whatever department you've targeted, because you've said that this city, the kid was almost drugged and drug out of the, or like physically drugged and drug out of the store, and then we have to go and dispel the myth and the issue.
Right.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Here's another big thing that I'm
Karen.
going to say to that point.
Karen.
If you're gonna, if you see something like that, and you're not gonna call the authorities, then don't post it on social fucking media, right? Because first off, that screams bullshit.
Correct.
You're doing it for attention
Attention.
and likes. If there's an issue and you see it, call 911. Don't wait
Gee.
6 hours and then go home and post it on Facebook about my daughter's friend's cousin's ex-husband's boyfriend, baby daddy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Saw this thing at this store today when they stuck a needle in this girl's neck and then drug her out of the store.
Like,
And
really?
yeah, come on.
Really? And here's the thing is, like, when, and I'm getting off track, but like, when people post this shit and they say this shit, do they not understand that, like, every store, like, when, because most of the time they're claiming stores or malls or whatever, they have
Where there's
security
surveillance
footage.
camera
Like,
everywhere except for the bathroom.
like, we're going to go get fucking footage because, of course, we're going to follow up. Like,
Yes.
we're not assholes. Like, everyone makes this out to me. Like, I'm going to follow up if you make a report on something,
Right.
but I'm also going to call you the fuck out when you lie.
Which should
And then
happen.
I'm going to make you feel like an asshole.
Which should happen.
I do make them feel like an asshole. Politely. I politely make them feel like an asshole.
Just you do it politely
I
to them.
I
but not
educate
me.
them.
And
I
I
try
think
to
that's a big
educate
thing
them.
is educating people.
I do.
But you know, I mean, seriously, if you're not gonna call 911 or you're not gonna,
Right.
then don't post it on social media.
Because you're just looking
Just
for
don't do it.
attention.
Yeah.
You're just looking for attention.
Yes.
So, anyways, going back to Karen's daughter probably never getting kidnapped for sex trafficking, okay?
Right.
Because her daughter is loved and has food on the table and isn't running away on a regular basis, hasn't tried drugs, maybe smoked a little weed with her friends and thinks she's fucking cool, whatever. But she does her homework, she's in the band, or she plays sports, or she does what she has a good life.
back together. Yeah.
She
no,
has
I-
a she has a good she has a good life, you know.
rain's coming.
Oh
by the
boy.
way.
But she has a good life, and she's at home. Mom and dad know where she's. That's the thing. She probably has mom and dad together. Like, she has
Mhm.
a typical normal life.
Right.
These kids involved in sex trafficking don't have those things.
Right.
And so
Hey, vulnerability.
they have a lot of fucking vulnerabilities. They usually don't have a steady home life. They usually are runaways. They usually are on drugs. They usually are drinking. They're usually, and it's not because they're bad. I'm not calling them bad kids. This is not me criticizing these kids. These kids are coming from hard, tough shit. They've suffered sexual abuse. They've suffered emotional abuse. They've suffered physical abuse.
Where do most crimes stem from?
Homes like this.
Vulnerability.
Vulnerabilities,
You know what
but
I mean?
homes
Like
like this, like you get a lot of the juveniles that we deal with, and they're not, sometimes they come from the well-to-do
Well,
homes.
I mean, any a theft, a robbery, you know what I mean? Like if there's a weak spot,
right,
somebody's gonna find it and they're gonna prey on it. That's just kind of, unfortunately, it's just how it goes.
But the problem that with all these social media posts and the fucking Bobby Joe Sue, Donna Joe Karens.
Karen. Yeah, we don't have to have all the other names.
I wanted all the other names. I just wanted to do it.
Karen's the
Karen. The problem with the fucking Karens posting and saying and doing everything that they're doing about their daughters and their trauma and all the things going on, and what just boils my blood is you are taking away from the actual victims out there, and you are taking away from everyone actually noticing real fucking victims out there. And so people are calling about this stupid shit that has nothing to do with sex trafficking, but they're not calling about the kid that is stealing from every store in the city because they are runaways from their home and they have no fucking food and they're trying to survive, and they maybe ran away from their pimp, whatever the situation might be, or they're a runaway and they're probably about to be sex trafficked, because sex trafficking isn't what people think it is. Okay, what are you going to do before I go into this?
You remember what I'm trying to find article thing that I sent you?
Okay, let me say this. You find that. So a lot of people think like sex trafficking is like the kidnapping, sweeping them away and like taking them into this life.
Where did I send that to you?
Facebook, I think. But like I've explained this to you, like sex trafficking is typically these pimps, sex traffickers, they will seek these vulnerable, mostly girls, out, and they will pretend to be their boyfriend. This is called grooming. They'll either pretend to be their boyfriend and do these things, or just do these things for them. Promise them a place to sleep. Promise them some food. Maybe take them to get their nails done. Maybe take them to get their hair done. Get them cleaned up. Buy them some clothes. Buy them presents. Buy them gifts. Show them love. Show them that they care for them. Give them attention. All the things that they haven't had in their home life in a really long time. And guess what? These kids are just dying for it. They are dying for love and attention and for someone to care for them. And then maybe drugs are involved in it too. But the pimp goes, I need you to have sex with my buddy. And so you have sex with, he forced it, but we gotta get money. Like, I need you to have sex with my buddy. You're going to have sex with this guy. So you go have sex with this one guy and you think it's going to be just this one time. And then after you have sex with that one guy that one time, because that's how he told you you're going to have sex with that one time, then he's going to tell you that you're a fucking whore, and then he's going to probably rape them, and then he's going to tell them that you're good for nothing, and then he's going to force them to do it for the rest of, whatever endless amount of time until they can get out of it. You're not even paying attention to anything I'm saying right now.
No, I was trying to find that article because I actually really wanted to I don't see
it
on Facebook.
Facebook.
I really wanted to see
or
it because
Instagram.
it was kind of...
Look on Instagram then.
I looked at both.
But just Google it. It's been everywhere. Or you can YouTube it.
If I can get
It's
my
been everywhere.
Googly to work.
Go
No,
on YouTube.
not that one.
Yeah, it's been on YouTube. The
that
hand thing,
one?
the kidnapping thing, the girl rescue. But that's not sex trafficking. But that's fine. We can still talk about it. But yeah, like it just...
See, I don't even know because I'm confusing
The grooming process
kidnapping from
is so...
sex trafficking.
The grooming process is like so insidious because it's not like Hollywood would make you feel. It's
Like Taken.
like Taken, even though I've never seen it, but it's, they're grooming these children into this lifestyle. And not all the time, like they call them like gorilla pimps, where they are brutal, like to the girls. And, you know, like sometimes pimps aren't necessarily as brutal. Sometimes pimps control them with drugs. Sometimes they control them with alcohol. Sometimes depending on whatever they control them with. What are you doing? I'm like in a, like trying to do some, like talk right. Okay, whatever. I guess I'll just stop. Like I'm in the middle.
No, keep going. I didn't mean to do that.
I lost my train of thought. But
Gorilla
like,
pimps.
okay, like pimps are gonna do.
We're like they're aggressive.
Yeah, they're aggressive. You have like different types of pimps that are gonna. Nope, it's not like there's this. Though there's books out there on how to be a trafficker. There's different styles that each pimp is gonna have. Some of them are gonna have a couple girls. Some of them are gonna have a lot of girls, and it's not girls shackled in chains in a basement, naked. You know, just being forced to have sex. Like these girls sometimes have free range to like go do things. But I want law enforcement, if you have any officers listening, you need to be aware of your mundane, stupid calls when you're dealing with juveniles and adults. Shoplifters is like number one. When they're stealing the necessities like underwear, soap,
Hygiene.
like
Like your everyday
hygiene,
stuff.
food, just simple things. Maybe something like cutesy, like nail polish, lingerie, stupid things like stickers. Like if you got to like look at the bigger picture. Like why would they be stealing stickers? Like you're not gonna sell stickers on the road.
Why would they steal stickers?
They want something. They need something. Like they want. And I'm just using an
I'm
example.
I'm just trying to get a little bit of
like,
elaboration.
You want like some, like something to be happy about in your life. Like I'm just trying to use an example. Like one of the classes that I went to for, through Deliver Fund, which I wanted to. I'm gonna put them in our show notes and everything like that. One of the victim survivors, her name is Sandy Storm. She's fucking amazing and badass, and it gives me chills just thinking about her story. She was talking about what we can do as law enforcement officers for victims. And she was talking about making these bags for these victims and having them in our cruisers ready for them. And it not just being, don't put deodorant, don't put toothpaste, don't put body wash, don't put the normal shit like that we maybe just give to like homeless people or something. Put like a candle, put a scarf, put like a headband, put some stickers, put some nail polish, put something that makes them feel human instead of this hell that they've been living in, because that's what it is. If they've been living in a hell.
So let me ask you, like, I know this isn't a real common thing nowadays, but like, where does a brothel lay in all that? Like, if you go out to what is it, Vegas, where it's illegal, and you have like the bunny ranch or whatever.
So there's certain. I believe it's only one county in Nevada that is actually legal for, and I don't think it's Las Vegas. It's a different county.
It's outside of Las
Vegas, but there's only one county where it's actually.
Lamar Odom had a bad day in one of those places, but
that what?
Lamar Odom had a bad day in one of those places a while back. But and I mean, honestly, that's kind of why
it's illegal. Now, I don't think brothels are quite as prominent here. Brothels are more prominent in other countries. And trafficking exists. Obviously, trafficking, and a lot of people.
I'm talking about here though.
Yeah,
like
brothels,
so like Vegas, are those willing participants that want to go in there and that's what they want to do for a living, or are they
like where it's legal?
Yeah, like in Vegas or out in Nevada.
They're not. I was gonna say it's not
in Nevada.
Vegas.
Jesus.
I mean, probably there, just because those are very.
So that like that's not even on the radar.
No,
that's not even like a concern, a worry.
No, because they're all adults.
I was just asking,
unless there's some like off the wall in the middle of the desert, like that no one knows about, which is possible. Well, like who knows? Like
those
it's
things,
obviously off the beaten path.
My question was based on those legalized. I don't want to say commercialized, but like the
well-known. Like they're gonna have like OSHA and different like shit in there. Like
they have a union. They got bennies.
OSHA's like the health people.
I know, but like,
make sure there's
do
not
they
like,
have?
I don't know.
They probably don't have
bennies. Like
no bennies.
No,
I was
they have
just
bunnies,
curious.
but not bennies. But
I was just I was just
But
curious,
no, that's
like, if
not on the
that's a-
radar. But like brothels aren't really like here. I mean, it's you.
I
might,
used it
you
for
might
lack
have
of a better
pimps
term, you know
that
what I
have
mean, but-
multiple girls, but he's gonna. It's not like a brothel, you know. Like he's gonna have multiple girls, and he's gonna like
I
send them out on their way.
I wonder who gets the money though.
The pimp.
No, I'm talking about in Nevada.
Can we not talk about them because that has nothing to do with sex trafficking?
Okay.
I don't want to confuse people because they're gonna be like,
it was a question.
okay, so I probably mostly the ranch or whatever you.
So
wanna
you're still
call
working
it.
for somebody though.
Well, yeah, like you're working for an establishment. Like it's even if you're working for a brothel in what's it, the Netherlands, like where the red light district is or whatever.
It's legal there too.
Or not Netherlands. Oh my God, I can't. Amsterdam. Yes, it's legal over.
Okay.
Maybe they've changed it since the last time I looked, but like it was legal, is legal, but the red light district, they have their brothels. I mean, there's girls in the windows, so like you just walk down the street, you pick out what you want. However, they have done studies that there are still illicit behaviors that still happen within the red light districts, because there was arguments that are like, well, why don't we just legalize prostitution and then we can regulate it and then we can control it and then it would prevent all these things. And it's like, you can legalize anything and regulate it and you're still going to have, bad people doing bad shit in the background. You're never going to prevent everyone from doing, all the bad stuff. So anyways, but the brothels, it's not as common here, but they are super, super common in other countries, the brothels for trafficking. So like they'll take these girls to brothels for sex trafficking in these other countries. And that's a whole different ball game of sex trafficking. I mean, I'm more concerned with like what's happening here because I'd like to protect our kids here. But in other countries, like that's all with like immigration, like they'll cross borders, they'll take them, promise them a life and marriage and things across borders. And then really they take them to brothels and force them, to perform sex, and they get no money. They're having sex all day long and they get no money, but they're forced to live in these brothels in these terrible conditions. India was one of the really bad ones. That's why I told you that that's like on my bucket list. I would like really like to go to one of these really bad areas where like all this exists and be able to do something once I like have maybe a little bit more of a platform of like being able to do more for this type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to go to another country and be able to take whatever we can be doing here and try to be helping elsewhere. Would be like my goal, what I would like to do. But that's a whole nother thing. But the point I like to make is that I think a lot of people think sex trafficking here is foreigners coming into the U.S. And it's like, these European women like Russian women being forced to have sex, and like Svetlana from Shameless, like her being a trafficking victim. Like that's not, though it can happen. You'll get like the mail order brides, like they come over here and get promised a life of whatever, and they can be forced be forced to have sex. But like the majority of sex trafficking in the United States is by U.S. citizens. Like or people being trafficked are U.S. citizens, and juveniles. But it's very insidious to me. Like, and it's scary because a lot of people, no one knows the fucking truth. Like no one's talking about the truth, and they just want to talk about what the fucking Karen's talking about when she's posting on Facebook and she's saying all stupid shit, but then no one wants to take the time and learn about the reality of it. So we're doing an injustice to all these victims that are out there, and no one's paying attention to them. And when they see these juveniles that are addicted to drugs, that are dirty, and when I say this, I'm not saying this to be mean to them, but like they're drug addicts, they're dirty, they smell, they're on a website that's soliciting for prostitution, like they have all these negative connotations to them, and people look at them and they just cast them to the side and think that they're just these outcasts and that they don't deserve anything. And the other problem is that look at our juveniles that we deal with. Do they not look like they're fucking adults anymore?
Yeah.
I mean, how many that we deal with, they're like, I'm 14 years old. And I'm like, how?
Yeah.
How are you 14
You're
years old?
6'2" with a full beard. Like, yeah.
Or you're a 14-year-old girl and you got bigger tits than I've ever had. Like, what happened to me? I don't know what happened, but I digress. But like, they're just very developed. They're just very mature looking. Like, they just have grown up so fast. And so you almost can't even tell, you know, that they're these juveniles. But people will cast them aside and just look at them like they're just the trash of society, or that they're just these little shitheads stealing from whatever store in their city, or, you know, us as law enforcement, it's just another person that we're processing, another person that we're arresting and releasing and whatever. And it's like, if we just took that little extra time and asked them the questions that they're probably not going to give you, if you ask them, are you a sex trafficking victim? They're going to look at you like you're a fucking idiot. And they're going to be like, go fuck yourself, asshole. But if you ask them other questions, like, where you sleep? Where you staying? Who takes care of you? When's the last time you ate? Oh, what do you like to eat? Oh, where do you get your clothes from? Like, just stupid things that you can kind of like piece together that they're clearly not getting the care that they need. You can start putting the puzzle pieces together. Do you remember that one girl that we had?
Yeah.
And she had all the mental health issues,
Yeah.
and we started putting pieces together, and her older boyfriend and the hotel they were staying at, and it finally clicked, and I was like, oh, Jesus Christ. Like, it finally clicked.
She was younger.
She
There was a
was
significant
15.
age gap, but yeah.
He was like 36 or something,
Yeah.
36, 38, and he claimed he was her boyfriend. She was 15.
Yeah.
And then she starts talking. She was a runaway, mental health issues. She was dirty. She was stealing. And she was like, she had like a couple of the different things. And it was like, you know, at first glance, you just look at her like she's just a bad kid, what you would look at
Right.
her as. But she's not a bad kid. She's going through a really hard time. She was adopted, which is not an automatic qualifier for having a hard life, but maybe the circumstances prior to adoption were hard, her transition into adoption. I mean, we don't know.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's a lot of things going on with kids. I mean, kids are resilient, but they're also human. Like, they go through tough shit. And we need to be more empathetic to that, and we need to pay attention more. But kids they have a really hard time lying. And so they can tell you one thing, but you can read their body language, and you can read their facial expression, and you can kind of like look at them and know they can tell you one thing, but are they playing a hard ass?
Right.
Are they like almost ready to tear up and cry when you ask them a certain question? Or are they getting really defensive when you ask them another question, or whatever it is? And it's like taking that little extra time just to question them and see. And you're not going to solve it, and you're not going to get them out of sex trafficking, but maybe giving them some resources and saying, hey, like, I just want to give you my card. There's a number on the back, you know, if you ever need some help, and you can give them the hotline for human trafficking. There's a hotline. I'll put it in the show notes. Give them the hotline for human trafficking and be like, if you ever need any help, give this number a call. But you also have to be careful with victims, because if you give them anything and the pimp finds out that they have anything from the cops, they get their ass beat.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like, you know, I've given plain pieces of paper with just a phone number on it and send my business card. I've written, like, they usually have, like, if they have like a journal or something, like, write in their journal for them, or write on their hand, or, you know, write on their arm, or have them write on their arm, whatever it is. Like, you just gotta kind of like, our job isn't black and white, you know, like, there's a lot of gray to our job. But it's just crazy. And what makes me mad is like all these stupid fucking myths that take away from the real victims of sex trafficking. And then you go back to this officer, Andrea Zendejas, and then you have an officer promoting a platform that we have now known sex trafficking victims that are being promoted on OnlyFans. And the people that I'm learning this from is the organization Deliver Fund. And Deliver Fund is, how can I say this? Fucking amazing. Like, they're amazing. You listened to the episode, didn't you?
Yes.
With the owner?
Yeah.
Or the founder?
So real just a quick question about OnlyFans. Is it like this low risk prostitution. Here's why I asked that, because you can technically you can force somebody to pose for these pictures and do all this stuff. You can still get the money from it, but there's no contact. There's no
Right.
risk of running into a prostitute and John type sting operation or anything. You
Right.
can do it all remotely. You can literally do it from the comforts of your house or whatever it may be, and still have the same concept of like the pimp and prostitute type thing. But again, I feel like with technology and social media and things and OnlyFans, it has made it easier to reap the benefits but not run a risk of being caught. Is that
Right.
is that accurate, or is that
So, I mean, this is just our opinion.
yeah,
Like,
that's
this
all
is
I'm
just
asking
us
for
going
is your
back. Like,
opinion.
my
Yeah.
opinion, I would agree. It reminds me of...
It's
remember-
better than putting somebody on a corner and having the cops come by and go, what are you doing?
Well,
You know
let's
what I mean?
be honest. Not many people are on the corner anymore, anyways, because
an
of
old school
because of the
Yes.
because of the internet.
Or
so like,
yeah, but
but-
you know what I mean.
but
Just
the-
running into that sting operation
Right.
or whatever it may
the
be.
in-call, out-call,
Yeah.
they're actually like physically meeting up.
Yes.
But yeah, I think that's a good observation because you're right. I mean, you're not having that physical interaction with them,
Yeah. Well, now
Um,
prove that what I'm doing is wrong or against
or that
my
I
will,
knew
or
that they were a juvenile, or that I knew
yeah,
whatever. Yeah, no, I agree. And I think that OnlyFans is it's not gonna go down anytime
No.
soon because, like I said, you have a lot of people on there that, I mean, Andrea Zendejas claims that she's not even posing nude, and she's not, but she's showing
Yeah.
her fingers over her nipples, but her entire breast is showing, like, so it's like, okay, but we can see your whole boob, like we just can't see your nipples, like we
Right.
all know what a nipple looks like, and so yeah, and you're right, yeah, like she'll know that more money's made when you're
I was
you're
gonna say when
nude,
she
like,
can triple
yeah,
her
yeah.
salary for
But I mean, I think that's a really good observation. But you know what it reminds me of is that book, Yeonmi Park. What was it called? Where is it on the shelf? There's so many books on the shelf.
I know her, but I don't know what the book is
Yeonmi
called.
Park, In Order to Live. That was a girl from North Korea. So she was sex trafficked when she came across the border to China. And part of her sex trafficking experience was being a cam girl. So this was like pre-OnlyFans. So like they call them cam girls. And cam girls, actually Netflix did a really, really good documentary on cam girls. And I think it might just be called Cam Girls. I hope it's still up because it was a really, really good documentary. And I watched it and I remember being like, they did a really nice job with it. And I'm not saying every person that's on OnlyFans or that was a cam girl back in the day is being forced to do it, because they're not. There's a lot of people in this documentary will show you there's girls doing it that were making money off of it, and they chose to do it.
This says, I mean, like your basic person with a few thousand monthly subscribers is upward of $25,000.
Yeah, so they're making decent money. And I'm not saying that every person on OnlyFans is, is a victim or whatever. Like there's a lot of people on there profiting off of this, doing nothing wrong. My problem with it is that my problem with Andrea Zendejas is that you were a police officer and you are now on a platform that is sometimes, not every single person on here, but sometimes promoting a very, very dangerous and horrible, horrendous crime that's targeting children.
Well, even if it wasn't OnlyFans or it wasn't anything related to that industry, shouldn't you still hold yourself with a higher standard,
right? To
and
have
value?
some morals of like, we don't need. And this is just my opinion. I mean, like, obviously, I'm not taking pictures of myself and posting them out there. Like, that's just not. I don't have any desire to do that, but I've never, like, it's never even crossed my mind that, like, that would be something that I would do. Like, I made the joke to my mom when OnlyFans came out. I'm like, Mom, they're making a fuck ton of money. I was like, I should be doing this shit. I was like, that's easy. And she was like, Allison, you would never. And I was like, you're right. I would never. Like,
Right.
that's disgusting.
Yes.
I would never do that. But, and I'm not trying to say that there's anything wrong with these people. Like, you do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
But my thing is, like, can we, like, have some modesty? Like, to me, and I'm not trying to, like, sound, like, weird or anything, but, like, isn't there something more special about, like, finding a relationship with someone and just having that to be more personal between you and that person?
To some people. Right? But other people, again, have realized I can do nothing and make thousands of dollars
Right.
a year. So no, they don't care. Or maybe look, maybe they're suffering from some type of other issue
There's other
that has
issues.
brought them,
Right.
I guess, kind of like full circle back to this platform where it's like,
Right.
yeah, this is me. Maybe this is all I feel I'm good for or worth or whatever it may be.
I was just going to ask
mean,
you, what do you think that does to someone's self-worth? Like, to be on it. Like, let me ask you this. Do you think that we'll use Andrea Zendejas? I'm stopping calling her an officer. She's not an officer anymore. You banned. You're not an officer. Andrea Zendejas, do you think that she feels good about herself doing this?
Well, I mean, I don't know because I don't know anything about
No,
her.
I'm just saying, like, your opinion, if you saw some of the photos that she's taking.
No, but you know what I think it is? All of that shit is being outweighed by the fact that when she opens her bank account every morning and sees hundreds and
That's how I
hundreds
feel
of
about
dollars.
this podcast with the $1.27 we've made on it so far.
Look,
We're
motherfuckers,
rolling in the dough,
I
bitches.
am going to go buy a McChicken tomorrow.
Oh,
But I
shit.
do. I think sometimes people get greedy,
Yes.
right? And I think maybe in her case, that's what happened. I think at this point, look, probably all her morals and ethics and all that shit are out the fucking door. She doesn't care. And the fact that you have...
God.
So here's my other thing.
What about her daughter? What about her daughter?
Let me...
Go. I'm shutting up. Can't. Pause my mic. Go.
It doesn't go away, right? And the fact that she was on that fucking interview saying, oh, my kids know that I take a lot of pictures, and both of your kids probably have smartphones because you've gone, oh, I've got money. Let's buy shit. If you think
23,000 or what did she? $31,000.
it was
is
something
not even
stupid.
that much money.
It's not, but maybe she's supplementing it somewhere else with another job, and it's
maybe.
adding, excuse me, that much more. But that shit doesn't go away,
Right.
and it
Get-
does.
I'm feisty.
If
right
you have children or plan to or want a family or thing, it doesn't go away. Once it's out there,
now. Right.
it's out there. You don't get to take it back.
Really? The
So-
internet, when you post something, you can never get it back.
What's going to happen when her kids, I forget the ages of them,
15 and 8.
so the 15-year-old and all his or her friends
Her, I think.
probably already know. And
Oh,
they've,
for
they've
sure.
seen it, right? I mean, it's
Thick.
it's out there.
Thick.
They see it. They know
Thick.
what's going on. It's not going to go away, and
Right.
it's not just about you. And if you have children and a family, you need to think beyond that because it's going to affect them also.
Yeah.
And I think it's very selfish. Again, just my opinion. I mean, you do whatever you want to.
Right.
But the older those kids get, they're going to go, man, your mom, look at your mom.
Right.
Like this, you know what I mean?
Right.
Because it's everywhere. The cell phones are always in everybody's face.
Right.
It's out there. It's going to continue to be out there, and it's not going to go away.
Right.
So again, it's affecting more than just you. A little common sense, I guess.
It's not a good move.
And here's my other question, and
Ooh, you're getting fired up.
this
now.
just kind of popped into my face, and literally all I saw was streamlined interface enabled individuals over the age of 18 to sell and buy monthly subscriptions. You know what the verification process probably is?
Are you 18 years or older?
Click this box
Click.
if you're over 18.
Yep. Or enter your birthday. Like when
Fuck.
you have to like scroll through and enter your birthday.
you can just
I'm like,
you can
I'm
just take
20,
the wheel.
I'm 24.
You could literally just take the wheel and go.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And wherever it fucking stops, it could stop in 38.
Yep.
And you could fucking hit okay, and it's like,
Yeah.
really? This
It's
is
like checking the box for like alcohol websites. Like, are you 21 years or older?
Sure am.
Yep.
Ship.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. Send me my booze.
I mean, it's I don't know. It's kind of mind-boggling when you look at it and think about
there's definitely a lot of factors
everything
to it.
outside of like the face value aspect. If
Yeah.
it was just her and she was single and that's what she wanted to do and she was like, look,
But is that what you really want to do?
it doesn't matter because that's on her, right?
I'm being judgy right now.
No,
is
I know.
that really what you want to do?
But again,
You went from wanting to be a cop
it doesn't matter.
to wanting to be an OnlyFans.
It doesn't matter. Who cares? If she was single, no kids, no nothing, and that's what she wants to do,
You're making all female officers look bad.
then go do your thing.
You're making us look bad.
But when you have kids and you have a platform, I think you should be a little more picky.
Yeah.
That's just me.
But you're making female officers look bad too, by the way.
Well,
Because now you're like putting this like sexualized connotation with like female officers. Like it,
why do you
to me,
think
it's like
she did it though?
I understand
She had
that.
the perfect platform was delivered to her.
I understand that. But like you're sexualizing female officers. Do you know how fucking hard most, not all, most female officers have to battle to earn their respect in their department, that they're not just pussy.
Right.
And
But
I'm
if
going to
you
say
can't,
it, that they're not just pussy and that they're there to be an officer just like everyone else there. And you're going to now go turn yourself into some slut on
look, I
OnlyFans,
get
and you're
it.
sexualizing female officers because now you're being
Get it.
called the buns of justice. Like your female officer title has not gone away.
Well, and I
It's
think that's
being
the big
stuck
thing.
with
That
you.
needs to stop, right? I mean, like you need to separate from that because
Like I won't call her an officer, but they're still calling her an officer. Like she is still do you know what I'm saying? Like she's still considered that female cop.
right, but the media is going to play on that
Oh,
just as
for
much as
sure.
she is going to.
For sure.
Right? And she's not going to go, well, I'm not a cop anymore. Everybody know, and she did say it in that interview, like I was already on my way out, whatever excuse she made. But if that's your selling point, are you going to tell me that you would stop? Not you.
No, I know
But
what you're saying.
You're going to stop what's making you that $31,500 a
hear
year.
your logic on it, but I, as a female officer myself, I am standing up for the other female officers that I can hear without hearing them in the background going, what in the fuck, you bitch? Like,
No,
we've
look,
worked so
yeah.
fucking hard to not be sexualized, and we've worked so fucking hard to just be one of the guys.
Right.
That here you go and try to go be a slut on OnlyFans. Sorry, being your Mrs. Bun of justice. Now
I think she needs to work harder to
She needs to get away from
separate
This
that
isn't
title.
the thin nude line. Get the fuck out of
Well, and
here. That was the media. That was the media.
But I don't agree with it.
I don't agree
Right?
with it. That's
and
not
that's
okay.
when they call you for interviews. You go, no, you know what? I'm good. Like, you want to find me? Here's how you find
But
me.
but here's the other thing. As a police officer, you should already have known how fucked up the media is and how fucked up they are in their storytelling method.
Can't beat them, join them,
I'm
right?
just saying, but so if she had morals and if she was clearly doesn't have morals, but if she would have had morals and she still made this decision to, I'm not like
But let me say this.
Go ahead. Say what you want.
It's further beyond just the OnlyFans thing because you can scroll through fucking Instagram
You see the same
and
images.
see the same thing.
Yeah.
You see these chicks who have these side-by-side pictures, and 1 minute they're in their uniform, sitting in their cruiser, smiling
Yes.
pretty. They got their vest and their badge and their gun showing, and they're out there fighting for justice. And then the side to that picture is them in fucking booty shorts that do nothing but cover their asshole, posing
I mean, you
in
probably
a
kind of
tree
like
line.
it.
But what I'm saying
You probably
is-
like it.
No, but I'm saying, like, what is the difference? Because you have the title of only, and again, I'm not trying to justify anybody.
There's no difference
But
because
let's look at the
those
big picture.
females piss me off as well. I'm
Right?
just targeting her
Those
right
chicks
now.
just aren't getting necessarily paid at this point in time, but there's no difference. And at some point in time, you have to have the separation of keep your professional life professional and your personal life personal. And I don't think those two worlds mesh well, right? But we also live in this society that the more likes that I have and the more followers that I have and the more popular that I am.
Oh, there's a picture of me on there. That's
there is
so
a picture of you on there. The more popular that I am and the more shitty that I make everybody else look, or the better that I feel about myself, then I'm better than you.
Right.
Right? So it doesn't people have gotten so far away from the aspect. I don't care if you're in law enforcement, you're a firefighter medic, you're a 9-to-5 professional receptionist or a lawyer, or I don't care what you do. You just chip your tooth. Dong. Those days are gone. Right? Because now it's a fucking popularity contest.
What?
Now it's a popular. You have headphones on. Why did you just say what and lean up to the mic like the sound comes through the mic? The days of the professionalism are gone. Mm-hmm. They're gone. Right? Because it's all about the fucking how many likes do I have?
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. Don't like.
No.
I don't.
No. They need to like our shit. Only our shit. You don't like anything else. Just like our shit, okay?
Right. But we're
just
not
the
also out there in Speedos and
not gonna talk about it.
And fucking.
We'll go in Speedos if it don't make you like our shit.
I'm not putting a banana hammock on for any of you motherfuckers. But I mean, you know what I mean? Like when you get back to it, it's the same thing on Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat.
I know.
So
and they make me mad too when I see those female officers doing the same damn thing, or
get your head out of your ass
or whatever.
Go do your fucking job, and when your job's over, take your fucking uniform off and go home and do whatever you want to do. But separate the two.
That's my thing.
Separate.
If you want to be sexy in lingerie, that's
do
your
persona. Do your thing.
Then you can have an if that's what you want to do.
Yes.
Then do that.
But when you start meshing the fucking
the two together,
you have a fucking problem.
We can't do that because you're taking away from me, and you're taking away from every other female that is in a male-dominated field that has worked fucking hard to not, like I said, to be pussy for everything. And I'm sorry, whoever's cringing at that word, but that is what all the boys say, and that's what they think that we are.
But I would really like to scroll through my Instagram, like just reels. Like I don't subscribe to those people, but you can find it. It's in your face all the time.
Mine, and I don't follow any of these chicks.
I would love to scroll through, find one, and go to that department and go, what kind of officer is that?
I want to know what she's like on the road.
Tell me what. And if you can handle your business and do your thing, and you're not out there just to post pictures in fucking uniform and then a picture in a 2-piece bathing suit with everything revealed, then more power to you. Do your thing. But you have to be more than a fucking social media post. You have to be.
Right. And
that's not that. Again, that's law enforcement aside. I don't care of the career path. Obviously, that's what we're geared to, and that's important. But to me, separate.
Look, some of these girls who are doing these, they're in uniform, and then they're.
Yeah, I mean, you see it in the military.
Dressed. Yeah, that's why I said a male-dominated field where women have had to fight hard to not like fight the patriarchy. I'm just saying like they have to work a little extra harder to prove that I want to be here because I want to be here because I want to do this job. Do you know what I'm saying? And so I'm not saying that every single one of those that are posting those are bad at their job. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
What I'm saying is that by you posting that, you are taking away from all of us who don't post things like that because it makes you look bad. Like it makes us look bad. So I get all
fucked up one night. And I get drunk and I do a bunch of illicit drugs. And then this fucking sexy cop that I just saw in a 2-piece bathing suit flaunting her butt cheeks all over the place.
Do I need to go beat her up?
Hear the rest of my story.
Okay.
Shows up to my door and I'm already fucked up.
Beat that bitch up.
Whether I'm intoxicated or I'm just pissed or whatever the case may be. And you show up to my door and I've seen you all over my Instagram and I follow you and you're showing your shit all over the place.
Right.
how do you think we're going to interact? Do you think I give a fuck about you? Do you think I respect you?
Right.
Do you think I'm going to listen to you?
Right.
No, I'm going to talk shit to you. And we've
Right.
seen that already with female officers
Just in general.
who, and sometimes even male, but more predominantly, I feel female officers who don't have that stigma attached to them that just show up to a call and it's,
Right.
damn girl, you fine, or you can arrest me, or you can put your handcuffs on me.
Every fucking day you
But
get a
if
guy
you're-
like, I didn't
If
do
you're this,
officer, I didn't do it.
if you're Miss Popular, right, and you're showing your body all over the place, like, you know what I mean? I guess I compare that to the fact that where we talked before, like
Right.
your general appearance when
And-
you're in uniform. If you're a sloppy piece of shit and you got mustard and crumbs and dandruff and shit all over you and your fucking shit's crooked and all your shit's unsnapped and you're
Right.
versus somebody who's squared away and you know what I mean? Look, and I'm not perfect. Sometimes I get shit on my uniform. Sometimes I get, you know what I mean? It does happen, but
Right, but you take care of yourself, you take care of your uniform, you take care of your shit.
right. What's the difference in those two aspects? In my opinion, there is no difference.
Right.
Separate the job, be fucking professional, put your shit away, and have two separate things if that's what you want to do.
So I think that's the biggest thing is like when you sign up for a job like this, and I'm not just talking about police. I'm
Right.
talking about firemen or firefighters,
Any professional,
military, any male-dominated field, but like something like this where you're in uniform, you're supposed to have a presence, you're supposed to be a dominating presence of, that sort. I feel like when you sign up for a job like that, you need to sign away that ability to have that other option of being that more. I'm not saying you can't be in the public eye. Like there's a lot of police officers in the public eye that like are on social media that I follow. Like
Right.
I like seeing them in
Look,
the
and-
public eye. Like that's
yes.
cool. But you sign away that opportunity of being Andrea
Keep your fucking
Zendejas. Like
dignity
I don't want to
attached,
see your
right?
tits. I don't want to see your
Yes.
ass. Like I don't want to see
Yes.
leave that for home.
Yes.
Like
And if
I'm
you're
gonna
going to
respect you
transition,
more.
then you need to leave everything else behind.
And you don't identify anything with law enforcement anymore because the two can't mix, and
No.
that's why we
Especially nowadays.
that's why we discussed the sex trafficking a little bit. I mean, I didn't go like super crazy. I mean, I got on a little bit of a rant, but like, and I didn't prepare. That was my biggest thing. Is like I didn't want to
Mhm.
prepare all my research articles today because I felt like no one wanted to listen to me list off like statistics and facts and stuff. But when you sign up for this job, you also sign off on then going into any career unless you are a total bag of shit and then you
Yes.
deserve to be locked up in jail. I'm not saying she should be locked up in jail, but you sign off on the opportunity for jobs that promote illicit behavior that we should be fighting in our profession. Do you know what I'm saying? Like the morals and the things that I guess encompass the profession, whether you're in the job or not. I mean, so Poorly Made Police podcast, you need to listen to us first, then you can listen to him. I really like the guy. I think his name is Tim. He doesn't ever really like talk about himself a lot.
Right.
He sounds super cool. I really like him. He actually like talks to me back and forth in DMs
Mm.
once in a while. Like he's nice, but he's
Right.
sarcastic. But he where was I going with this? Oh, but he left his police department. He talks about that. He left his police department. But just because he left his police department I feel like the way he talks, the way he acts, he's sarcastic as fuck. He makes very poorly made police memes. That's his brand,
Yeah.
whatever. He jokes a lot about shit. He's very cynical about some stuff. He's funny about it. But he still has the morals of a police officer.
Mm-hmm.
He still
Right.
has that cop life. He didn't leave his police department and then just turn
yes.
into a bag of shit
Right.
and just start smoking weed and,
Ye-
just
yeah.
doing whatever
yeah.
whatever the fuck you want to
Yeah,
do.
the foundation is still there,
He is-
right? Because
he's
he
still,
he has based his show and everything else on
law enforcement.
that
And
career.
he supports
right?
law enforcement. And
Yes.
I still consider him, even though he left his department. He says, I didn't retire.
Right.
I left.
I left. Yeah.
I left.
Yeah.
I still consider him part of the law enforcement community because
Yes.
someone like that, just because you're not actively in your department, like you are still part of that community. Like
But you personally have to hold yourself to that standard.
a higher standard.
You have to.
In our job, we hold ourselves to a higher standard. Your
Yes.
dad, he's retired. He holds himself to a higher standard.
Yes.
Every retired cop that I know holds themselves to a higher standard.
Right.
The cops that we know hold themselves to a higher standard. Most of them.
Most of them.
But you sign up for that, and you should know that when you sign up for that job or this job. And like you made the comment, so fine, sure, you decide that this isn't for you. And some people get into the job, they decide it's not for them, they leave. Sure, we're not knocking you for that. And if you decide it's not for you, then please walk away from it because it is not okay for you or for anyone else to remain in a job that you don't want to be there. Like it's not worth your life. Or putting anyone else in danger if you're not, your headspace isn't there in the job. But anyways, if fine, whatever, her dream job was to be an OnlyFans participant, if that was the dream, which I highly, 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 highly doubt, but anyways, if that was the dream, then you need to cut all fucking ties with law enforcement, and you need to not be showing up on news, and you need to not be able to be YouTubing her to find out her interviews for YouTube and her fucked up photos that she's showing for OnlyFans, and it's not okay. And it's not okay to transition to something that also promotes something as horrible and terrible as sex trafficking. And before we end, because I know you shut off the computer, so I know you're getting hungry, so I know we need to go eat, I need to plug in Deliver Fund. Because Deliver Fund is, so let me say this. Deliver Fund is an amazing program, and I don't have, because I didn't prepare, because I didn't want to throw stats at you guys, I don't know what year they actually were founded, but Deliver Fund is different than any other sex trafficking organization that at least that I'm aware of or that is out there. I think they are like one of a kind that's out there, but he is an ex-Navy SEAL, the guy that started it. What the fuck is his name? I had his name on the tip of my tongue. I'll plug everything into the show notes. I have his name in my head and I cannot. Nick, I can't think of it right now. Because I've had a little bit too few drinks, I can't think of it. So, but Deliver Fund started, and the way Deliver Fund is better than every other sex trafficking organization out there, and all let me be clear, all sex trafficking organizations are amazing, amazing. Right. The work that they do are amazing, and the people that work for them are amazing. But majority of sex trafficking organizations, they work for the victims, which is amazing, and we need them. And the organizations that I've worked with and that I've dealt with, they work with the victims. And I can't thank them enough for the things that they've taught me, the resources they've given me and all that. Like, it's amazing. Mm-hmm. But Deliver Fund is different because they say, we're not going to focus on the victim. We're going to focus on the trafficker. We're not going to focus on the victim, and we're not going to focus on the John, because a lot of law enforcement, so let me backtrack. You have a lot of nonprofits focus on the victim. You have a lot of law enforcement focus on the Johns, the people buying the sex. You're not ever going to end sex trafficking by helping victims get out of sex trafficking, because whenever you get one girl out, you're probably going to replace her with two more. You're never going to end sex trafficking by arresting all the Johns, because when you arrest one, you're just going to replace him with a couple more. To end sex trafficking, and the belief system behind Deliver Fund and why they are so amazing is that they are trying to end sex trafficking by removing the traffickers. They are going from top down. If we can eliminate the traffickers, that gets rid of the Johns, and that gets rid of the sex trafficking victims. And it's not that they don't help victims. So when they provide aid to different agencies. They do a lot for departments. I mean, their whole program that they do for doing different searches and their intelligence and the people that they have working, their analysts and things like that. I mean, it's incredible, the things that they can do. They also provide free training to law enforcement. So if we have any cops listening, reach out to us and I will get you hooked up with some free training, because it's awesome. And it's they've been doing webinars, so you can go online, do like an hour or two online training, and it's awesome stuff. But anyways, they'll help law enforcement do the stings, and things like that. But they're providing victims with services in addition to it. So it's like they're kind of doing everything.
Right.
Like, we're getting rid of the traffickers, we're arresting the Johns, and we're helping the victims. So it's like top down, getting rid of, trying to just completely expunge the whole process from, you know, being here. And you're probably never going to end it completely. I
Right.
think it would be amazing to just completely abolish it. There's always going to be bad people in the world. That's why we always joke that we have job security. But if we can just like create awareness and reduce and create some deterrence for the fucking traffickers out there, because right now there's not a lot of deterrence out there to catch them, because the laws that are in place, it makes it very hard for cases against traffickers to actually be won. There's a lot of elements that need to be met in order for a trafficker, like a solid trafficking case to actually be won in the court of law. But Deliver Fund's making that a lot easier because of the things that they're doing for law enforcement. The thing they're plugging so much stuff for law enforcement.
Right.
Like and when I learned all the things that they're doing, I was like, holy shit! Like, you're doing like the whole case. Like, it's amazing. You're doing so much stuff. So I will plug everything in, but follow them on Instagram. I believe it's just at Deliver Fund. Kara the Huntress. It's at Kara the Huntress. She's one of their lead analysts. She puts out awesome information, dispels the myths, provides all the different facts constantly. She's always doing live videos, stories, things like that about sex trafficking. She's really cool. She was in the Air Force. She was on Cleared Hot. She did an episode there. Kara the Huntress, and then author Sandy Storm on Instagram. It's at author Sandy Storm. She's actually reshared us a couple times on her
nice.
story. She's the books that I read, the novellas that she wrote about her story. She's a victim survivor, and she's a badass. She is. Her story is incredible. The things that she experienced are incredible. She is so forthcoming in the things that she went through. It makes you, the cat crying out there. When I listened to her story, it was like you just wanted to cry, you know. And that's how a lot of the Deliver Fund training, they've brought other victims on, and it just makes you want to cry.
Right.
You just listen to these incredible women tell their stories. But yeah, Deliver Fund is amazing. They're like my, I guess, inspiration for everything to like keep moving forward with like the sex trafficking stuff, because it gets really frustrating because it feels like it's just so much bigger than you know.
Right.
That it's hard to kind of battle something that is just so big. But you get an organization like this that's so good at what they do that I don't know, I just keep kind of like striving for something like that and to kind of keep in touch with them. So I actually reached out to them and said we were gonna plug them in an episode, so I'm excited to plug them.
Here you go.
I plugged them.
Here's your episode.
But I'm going to add them into the episode, let them know that I added them, whatever.
Yeah.
So please go follow them. Please go to their website. I believe it's just deliverfund.org, but I'll put everything in the show notes. You can go on, you can donate, you can buy merch, everything on there that helps directly support all of their process that helps police departments and everything they do. I mean, it's incredible, everything they do. So
Cool.
do you have anything else that you like to say? I know you're really hungry. So.
That is it.
Okay.
Let's get out.
I like these mics so much. They're so cool. We forgot to say we have new lights.
We do have new lights. Nice new ring lights.
Ring lights. You look glowing.
We'll do another zoom around of the studio here eventually. So
Do like a Instagram story.
there you go.
I just love this mic so much. I just want to keep talking on it some more.
Well, we're not going to keep talking because we're out of here.
Okay.
So we will see you guys
Next time.
next time.
It'll probably be like Thanksgiving around this time it's released.
Probably.
So happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving
Happy
if we don't talk to you.
holidays. I don't know if we're releasing anything more during the holidays.
I don't know. We'll see what
We'll
happens.
see. But if not,
Happy holidays.
happy holidays.
And we will see you next time.
Okay, bye guys.
See ya.
See ya.